Okay, this 5-minute tutorial we're going to explain how to install the Freeradius on Linux servers, and then we will explain a bit on the configuration as to how we can configure the Cisco gateways to send these logs onto the onto the Radius server. Okay, and how to enable receiving those Radius logs by configuring the security on the Linux server. To start off with, okay, there are a lot of packages that we need to install on the Radius server so that we can have the service implemented. So first of all, we need to execute the command apt-get install Freeradius and Freeradius utils. Okay, this is obviously what we are talking about over here is basically we're talking about Ubuntu version, but if it is to do with some other versions, okay, it might be different. It might be Yum for Fedora or some other version. Then on the next thing what we have is, okay, we obviously most probably we will be having IP tables already installed, so we might not need to install it, but however, if it is not installed, we need to install it. Ngrep is to do and TCP dump basically are to do with your troubleshooting your packet level configuration, whether you're receiving the packets or not from the Radius from the Cisco gateways or any Radius client. wget is basically required for downloading these utilities or packages if they are not available on the default apt-get location of Ubuntu. NTOP is an excellent utility that helps you gives you clarity on the network configuration into network traffic, basically, as to what traffic is coming in and what is the top IP clients that have been communicating with this server, and what are the top protocols and so on. SAD is a utility that would be useful. It's basically a stream editor in which if you want to make some replacement onto some text files at a bulk level, you can do without editing the file. You just execute an SAD command with certain regular expressions which enable it to replace the contents of the configuration files or whatever text files that you would not want to configure or change. Systat is also an excellent utility that would give you basic information as to the CPU load on the server. You also get information on the number of reads, writes, transactions per second onto the hard disk, so that you get an estimate of what kind of load we are receiving at any particular point of time. So these are basically the things that we need. Okay, once the Freeradius is installed, what we need to do is we need to make sure that it is consistent on every reboot. So we need to put in the command which is called the check config Freeradius on. And then perhaps after making any changes to any of the configuration files to start or stop or restart a service, you need to execute the service Freeradius restart and so on. Moving on to configuring the Cisco gateways, okay, assuming in the current environment there's already a Radius server which has been configured at the voice gateway. So what we are going to do is there's a special configuration that is required so that you could send both the Radius logs simultaneously to both RAD1 and RAD2. So this is basically the configuration that is required for this. Once you have this configuration in place, you would be able to see the logs coming at both the Radius servers. Obviously, what you need to do is you need to make sure that the client is added. So in our previous example, we had the client as 3.0.0.1, so we added with the secret key. Short name is only for description and it's not necessary, but the only key requirement is the secret that needs to be entered and the client IP address. Also, if IP tables have been implemented, okay, you need to execute these commands saying that the port 1812 and port 1813 should be enabled so that you can receive the Radius logs. Once you have done this, then you need to save the IP tables, and then we are done. Thank you.